Assalamu alaikum. So I wanted to make this an Islamic reminder video. I have yet to make one on this channel, which is really bad. But if I were to make any type of Islamic reminder, it would be that we purify our intentions. And I say this first and foremost to myself, and also, the people, who are involved with Islam for Europeans, and also our followers as well. That we also always want our intentions to be purely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we're doing this, because, we want to advance the cause of Islam and the status of Islam in the West and abroad. We feel that our, the concepts that we have come up with and our recommendations to the Muslim community would have enormous benefit. We don't want to do this for clout. We don't want to do this for pride or for status. We don't want to do this so we can be a self-sufficient organization with the payroll. We don't want to do this to get revenge on any Muslim individually or as a group. So I want to make that, totally clear that, we're doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that, our intentions are specifically, for those goals. Because it's very easy, when you run a YouTube channel, for all the numbers and views that you get, to go to your head. And this is it can be a very dangerous game that we're playing. And then just today, the two most watched videos were about the Hamza Yusuf Jordan Peterson video. And I just found out that it might have actually been canceled. I don't know, but I guess we'll see, inshallah. But that's from what I hear, is that it never came into fruition. So, that right there is kind of a humbling experience. I mean, that's those two videos got more views exponentially than the other video I've made. And it never came to be. So, again, whatever good things come out of this, this channel and this, in this organization, whether it's just one person learning one thing about Islam, or who knows, inshallah, this group may keep expanding and become bigger and become, this huge thing that gets bigger year by year and actually, produces a lot of benefit for the Muslim community. No matter what happens, the most important thing is that we're doing this purely for the sake of Allah, because, we've read the hadiths before that, there was a man who came on the Day of Judgment, as a martyr. He actually died as a martyr. And, he was asked, what he did in his life. He said, "Oh, I was a martyr, and this is for Allah's sake." And then Allah the Almighty will say, "What did you do about them?" And he will say, "I fought for your sake and died a martyr." And he will say, "You have lied, but you did fight that so people would say that you're a courageous human being." And then he will be ordered to be dragged along his face until he is cast into the hellfire. And then the hadith goes on, and it talks about one who is a very learned person, who says, "I did such and such and became a reciter, for Allah's sake." But the intention was never there in the first place. So, we have to be very careful. I mean, it's a fine line we have to walk, because we don't want to be seen as dividing the Muslim community. When you have an organization like this that focuses on one particular group, the message from a lot of mainstream, Muslim organizations is that, this group is causing division and fitna, and that we should all be united as Muslims, which is absolutely true. I mean, we don't dispute that, but, we feel that each community has a responsibility to their people. And, whether, you're born in Canada as a white Canadian, or whether you're born in the United States, Puerto Rican community, or whether you're born into an African American family in South Philly. Each person belongs to a group, and your affinity is just natural. I mean, this is how human beings operate. They collectivize based on language and culture and ethnicity and nationality and things like that. And to just deny those things is just not based in reality. Having said that, I totally understand where the fear from some of these mainstream Muslim organizations that say that we're causing fitna among the ummah. So it's always something that we want to keep in the back of our minds. Are we taking in the suggestions or keeping ourselves in check? By talking to and taking critiques from our detractors. And they're not the only ones. I mean, the liberal, more progressive, and spectrum of the Muslim community, which has a wide range of beliefs, but at its very most extreme end, there are some people who say, that we're a white supremacist organization, that we're doing this. Their complaint is, white Muslims have it good enough. I mean, why, create your own organization and exclude other Muslims as well? Which is not what we're advocating at all for. I mean, anyone can join an organization, no matter what your background is, as long as they agree with the mandate of the group, which is that European descendant Muslims should collectivize to give dawah to their families and their communities, and improve those relationships. But it's something that we should keep in the background of our mind as well. Are we excluding people from the conversation? So yeah, I mean, again, we don't want to try to say that we're doing things, that everything is going great, and then we don't deserve any critique, because that's the last thing we want. I mean, the worst types of organizations are the ones that are not self-reflective, that are aware of what they're doing and the mistakes that they're making. And that's why we constantly want feedback from people who may not completely agree with our concepts. Okay, and just to wrap it up, even though we're such a small organization and our subscribership is pretty small now, we shouldn't give up or think that that we're not going to be able to make an impact, because even the smallest even the most impactful of organizations started out extremely small. It was just based on the concept, and then it grew from there. I mean, just look at the Muslims themselves. I mean, when they were in Mecca, they were being oppressed so much by the pagan Arabs that any historian, when taking a look at that, would say, okay, yeah, they're finished. There's no way that this group is going to survive, and they're going to be completely wiped out. And even when they migrated to Medina and established the Muslim state there, they went through a lot of hardships as well. They were still being attacked by the pagan Arabs. They were being attacked on all corners. I mean, there was dissension among the ranks. It was definitely not an easy thing. So we should always keep that in mind, that we can make an impact, and we can be a positive force for Islam in the West, and it can be a win-win for both groups. Like when we look, and then even looking at the Anglosphere itself, there's a lot of anger towards Islam. Some of it's, and Muslims. I mean, some of it justifiable. You could argue that. But really, they have a lot of resentment and fear over Islam in the Anglosphere. And us as European descendant Muslims, I mean, that's an uphill battle that we have to climb. My family had no problem with my conversion, but for those who did, it is not easy. It is very tough, and it's going to take a lot of effort and patience and hard work and dua and to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's my time for the day. So yeah, in conclusion, like this Islamic reminder is that, first and foremost for myself, but anyone who wants to be involved with the organization, we're doing this solely for the sake of Allah. May Allah accept, from this group accept the best of our deeds from this group and make it a positive impact for Islam in the West. And we do not want to do this for clout. We don't want to do this for pride. We don't want to do this to take revenge on any group, whether they be Muslim or non-Muslim. We're not doing this because we feel that we want to make the same mistakes that other communities did, in terms of being too prideful or just I guess too collectivized as a group. But at the same time, we feel that what we're suggesting needs to be done. And you can see it. I mean, a lot of people who've commented on our organization say, you're doing a wonderful job, and this is so refreshing, and I've never thought of it this way, and it's what's been missing with Islam in the West. And inshallah, this will be a good opportunity for us to grow. So that's my time for the day. I'm Rob from Islam for Europeans. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much for listening to me. Peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.